What's going on, everybody? And thank you for joining me on The Art and the Artist. I'm your host, LA Phil. On this episode, I got to speak with London-based artist Teddy Opong. My first international interview, which was pretty exciting for me. When I start these interviews, I have a list of get-to-know-you questions, a couple of their art pieces I'd like to talk about, and then we just kind of see where the conversation flows from there. Now, this conversation flowed, so much so that I had to cut the interview into two parts. By the time we were done talking, it was just about 2 hours, and we probably could have talked for much longer. Teddy's incredible style is what caught my eye on social media, but Teddy has his hand in music and fashion, a true artist in every sense of the word. The thing that I like the most about Teddy is that he knows exactly where he's going. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I really enjoyed this interview, and I think you guys will enjoy what Teddy has to say. So without further ado, I present Teddy Opong.
Back to London, and then I came back to London for boarding school, and then just stayed in London really because I didn't really want to go back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I get it. All right. Okay, so your time in Ghana, though. Did any of that influence the way that you produce art? Did those experiences out there kind of maybe give you a different insight that you wouldn't have gotten in London?
I mean, a little bit, like, because I wasn't always doing art like to the level I am now. I stopped doing art for quite a bit. While I was in Ghana, I actually focused on like music and stuff more.
Okay.
But came back to doing art when I kind of got a bit more interested in expressing myself in more creative ways. But that's where it comes into like doing art, doing music, doing clothing, and just like other creative things. And then I just stuck with art for a bit longer because it was something I could do like while in class. Like really like, bring a laptop to class, sit there. All sorts of stuff, but you can just draw on the like the edge of the pages and stuff. Yeah. So my notebooks just have drawings on the edges of the pages, and I decided because the school had an art department, and so I just hang around there with my friends that did art, and I just like give my opinions on stuff. And then it got to the point where it was like, okay, well, why don't I just like get some of these like sketchbooks and stuff they had, and just or in an actual sketchbook instead of on the edge of like random pages of my thing. And that's how I kind of got into it a bit more.
Okay. So then when did you realize, okay, like I'm pretty good at this, I want to take this seriously? Because I noticed the clothing too, and I'll talk about that in a second. Just what I'm getting from you, I mean, you're just an artistic dude all around. And what made you say, okay, I'm good enough to do this professionally?
They got to the point where people wanted to buy my like prints and stuff. Wow. And to me, I was like, I don't get this. Like, I get someone else's prints. And then I said, well, if they want it, then I'm going to be able to, I've got to like make them for them because they want it. And then I thought, well, now that they want my prints, I'm going to have to make like better ones and just keep getting better until it gets to the point where like people just have them, not because they see them and think, oh, like these are amazing. I love art so much, but it's just like, oh, they look cool, so I want to have this like on my wall or something. Yeah. And it got to the point where quite a lot of people were asking me, and I still had nothing set up. So I just set it up like really like haphazardly. I just used the Imprint, which is one of those like fulfillment sites that does it for you. And it was at that point where I was like, okay, maybe this could go somewhere. And then I made like, I don't know, I made maybe £50, which is like what, $70. Yeah. I stopped for a bit and I didn't check it. And then I went back, checked it, and I'd seen it and I was like, this is pretty
not bad.
Like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope, man. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So was your family on board with you then when When I take that as a no.
Don't bother me then. Don't bother me now. So it's like this is kind of my thing where it's like I do my studies and I go to work and come back, and then they just think that I just chill and like watch Netflix and stuff. But
yeah,
I have a TV. I even have a Netflix account. It's like I'm like really focused on this, and they've kind of picked it up. My dad's picked it up. My mom not so much, but my dad's picked it up, and he's kind of just concerned that I've focused too much on it. But in my opinion, it's like I could do this to a professional level. So why would I not, focus on this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. So were you just primarily like sketching, or were you always doing digital art, or you don't do any digital art at all?
Oh no, so it started off as sketching.
Yeah.
Then there was an app, a sketchbook from my laptop, and I thought, wow, this is like pretty cool. You can like trace over stuff, and like so I'd remake the Kanye album covers. That's how I started doing digital art. I'd remake the Kanye album covers. One of the first posts I did was the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy cover.
Oh yeah.
I like remade that and I posted that. I had an Instagram just for like my friends, and I like post all the sketches and stuff there. And then I saw that other people had art Instagrams, so then I made an art Instagram, and I think that was the first thing I posted. And then it was from that, looking at other programs I could use, because Photoshop is like still a bit too expensive for me, because it's not free, and it's like a monthly recurring thing, and you've got to get everything. I'm not really about that yet. I'll need it at some point for what I want to do, but just not right now.
Yeah.
So it just progressed. There's a lot of stuff that when you start out, you never know everything you need or everything you're gonna get, but you just kind of know where the end goal is, and as long as you like follow that path, you always get there. So there's random other stuff, like so from my computer, doing it on my computer, I was doing it on my phone, and then I thought I need a bigger screen. So after I made like enough sales, I just bought an iPad, and so then I've been doing it on my iPad for a while. I got Procreate in like March, May this year.
Really?
So yeah, I haven't been doing like it for that long. I say.
Wow.
I go at it, so I improve pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And at first, really, it was I would draw on paper and then take a picture of it, and then like get all the white lines off, and then color in behind it with like apps and stuff. And then it kind of went to I can just do the sketches on the apps, color it in, post it. But now I kind of just do whatever I feel, because if I draw in my sketchbook, I'll just go over it. Or if I draw it on the iPad straight away, I'll go over it. Now there's a bunch of different things. Like it's like, you know how I said you'd never know what you need, you just know the end bit.
Yeah.
I decided I wanted to do more physical stuff. So I look at Procreate, and it's like there's like colored pencils, markers, but I've got none of these stuff.
So it's all add-ons then. You have to okay. And
then I was like, well, why don't I just get this like in real life? So I find drawing on a sketchbook easier, but it's a lot more limited. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, over there, that's my marker set. I've got some other paint in other places, and I just progressing from then on with physical stuff and like mixing both. Okay.
So all of that, like, so most of the stuff then, like on your IG and stuff you posted to Twitter, has been less than a year that you've been working on Procreate on the iPad?
On Procreate on the iPad, I started in March.
That's insane.
Well, it was March, May, it's one of those M months. But it's like from art, like computer art stuff, let's say 2018, 19, ish, that area of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's insane. Yeah, because it's cool because I look at your IG. It's like so I started from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So you can see the progression, and as so I know it's a lot of the line work in the beginning,
Yeah.
which was super dope,
Thank
and
you.
and I wanted to talk about your sort of evolution because there's a bunch of different things, but the evolution into this geometric like cubism style that you do now,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love. When you started like with the line work, did you ever think that it would end up in the style that you are using now, or were you always kind of experimenting with different ways to create?
I experiment a lot, but with the line work and the earlier stuff that you see, that's not the cubism stuff. I struggled in that I didn't feel like I could claim those styles as my own.
Oh,
With
okay.
so for there's things around that line work time which are heavily inspired by George Kondo, who's still a big influence, but like you can see like Kondo's work and it's just my work, and it's like this is way too simple.
I see. Yeah.
And then with the line work stuff, it was cool, but I'd always have to have a picture in mind and then make that line work.
Okay.
And there's no real creativity in that
Oh, I
because
see.
as opposed to coming up with something, making something from scratch. Like if I drew your face right now, I have to start from scratch. Whereas for me to do the line work of your face, it's really just taking a picture or a screenshot over it. And it's like it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But I got to a point where I was like that wasn't creative enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to kind of just there was one day where I just decided I was like, I need to switch this.
Okay.
Try to do something different, try something cool. And I just like looked at a bunch of artwork and got heavily inspired by some of it. And like took the bits that I liked from all of them,
Yeah.
put them in one thing. And then that was the first cubism like portrait I did in my style. And then it just developed it from there.
Yeah.
Where it is now with all the shapes and stuff. So
I did notice so a lot of music in your art. Dark Twisted Fantasy album cover, the Donda 2, ASAP Rocky, AJ Tracy. See, I know AJ. I rock with UK music, man. See, a lot of people don't know. Out here, a lot of people sleeping on it, but I mean that. I've been listening to UK music since Dizzy Rascal, Born in the Corner. So you got Kid Cudi, Frank Ocean, Travis Scott. So as a musician then, has the music that you listen to influenced the art that you make?
I listen to a lot of music. Like I had what 230,000 minutes on Spotify this year.
Whoa!
Yeah,
All right.
I listen to a lot of music. But all those people that I draw is typically like I'll hear one of the songs and I'll be like, oh, I really like this album or something like that. If you go back a lot, there's a lot of Kanye work. That's because I'm a like, huge Kanye fan, and I've been a huge Kanye fan for a while.
Yeah.
And it was just easy for me. There's stuff in there in his music that I really enjoy listening to.
Yeah.
And so that like translates to the art, and drawing their album covers and stuff. It's good practice for what I want to be able to do in the future. But it's more just of this is something which is established and is recognizable, and I can like try and transform this.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty cool in my own way.
Yeah.
So like I listen to a lot of Frank Ocean as well. So I've drawn the Blonde album cover quite a few times because that's like one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
There's albums that I just keep going back to try to do stuff for them. But yeah, music pretty heavily influences the art style as well. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's so. Okay, I want to talk about. Okay, so a style that I absolutely love: collages, and you've got some great collages. There was one with ballerinas on it that was. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was super dope. So when did you start with the collage work? Was that, somewhere in between the line work and the cubism, or was it something you've always been working on? Or because it always looks dope when a nice collage comes together. It's beautiful.
One of my friends did collages, and I always like thought oh, these are pretty cool. Why not just try it? But I was like, oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have a printer. I don't have this and that. And then I realized like I can just go get these things. Like if I save enough money to buy a printer, I can buy the printer. So I bought a printer. I already had the cutting knives and like cutting mat from, I do civil engineering at uni.
Oh, okay.
And so I already had those from like, we did a design thing. I already had those. So I had everything I needed, like once I got the printer and the ink and stuff. I went to his house. That I made the Travis Scott collage.
Yeah.
I went to his house and made that. And then like maybe 3 days later or 2 days later, I just went and bought a printer. I was like, I can do this. I don't need to wait on anything. So I can just do this myself. And yeah, they're really fun to do. I enjoy doing them, but again, they're like you can put your own twist on them, but there's always the element of you needed something like first to make this, at least for my ones so far. There had to be the album cover or a picture or a person to make the collage brand. And again, that comes back to like not being creative enough, because I could print all those pictures, give them to someone else, and they can make a collage from it. But no one can like look at a picture and then redraw it in the way that I do it. Like, in the exact way I do it, at least, you know. Even get this stuff.
It's a lot more freedom then, you know.
There's a lot more freedom to do what you want with the drawing as opposed to collages. But collages are really fun to make. I enjoyed them.
Do you sell prints of your work? I was looking for I couldn't find it anywhere. Okay, because I was asking that because I wanted to know. I know you're listed on Foundation and OpenSea with your NFTs, and I was, because I didn't see anywhere to buy the prints. I was just wondering, were you strictly focusing on NFTs or prints and NFTs together in combination?
I have prints on Artist Sourced, but my prints website for like just the prints, well, it used to be just the prints. Now it's like prints and clothing. And I'm trying to get it to where it's like, because I have a whole thing in mind. I want the prints, clothing, music to be on the same bit, and then I want like advice and resources and help for younger artists, like designers, creators, also on the website, and then like just music that I like and just stuff about me. But it's like I've been looking at a bunch of websites trying to figure out how I can get all of this into one like zone, because it's difficult. So far, people like have separate websites for their clothing and clothing and art, or it would be like some people just have clothing websites. Some people don't even like, people will sell prints, and it's just getting that all under one website and making it look clean is what I'm trying to do now. But it's pretty difficult because those people who are doing those things, like their websites are expensive, whereas and they're either paying people to do it for them, or they like got a preset which is like $2,000, and it's like I don't have the $2,000 to do this. So I'm learning. I did computer science in school for a bit, so I know a bit of HTML, but I'm just trying to learn HTML, CSS, and try to get my websites like looking cool. But I was thinking about this earlier. I was going to put more prints on Artist Sourced, so while I focus on the website, like behind because it's got a password up right now. Focus on the website behind that, and then just see what happens. But it's like trying to put clothing and prints on the same place with both the priority. I might just have to get another like domain or something so I can split it up.
No, but that's a dope idea to have everything under the same roof where you can, no, that's cool. All right. Well, when you get that up, let me know. Absolutely. We'll do this again. So back to my my earlier question. With the NFTs, I'm still sort of new to it. I've done a bunch of reading about it, but I'm not, physically going through it myself, putting up artwork and things of that nature. Have you found it easy to not only, because I know there's fees to like the gas fees you have to pay just to, you know, to make a transaction or something like that. Have you found it somewhat challenging to get everything you want up on there, or is it kind of just the process that you're taking? You're doing it at your own pace, and is it easy to get eyes on you with an NFT? Because I know there's a lot of artists doing it now, and the market is very saturated, but there are a lot of artists making, you know, some really, really good money doing this, which I absolutely love. Has the experience with that been an easy one for you?
So with getting everything up and paying the fees and stuff, I've had a good friend group of artists who we all like talk about this stuff and give each other advice on this. So they help me with that side of things, like putting everything up. And then about the market being like saturated, it's something that used to bother me, and it crosses my mind occasionally. But then at the end of the day, I'm just like, well, it is what it is, really. If none of I've got 4 up on Foundation, 2 of them sold. And if those other 2 just sit there, then it's like, okay. But with things like fees, it's just, if you want to have the potential of doing this, there's certain things you just have to do, and it's one of those things you have to do. It's the fees aren't going to go away regardless of what you do. So you can either just not do it, or you can pay the fees and like get on with it. Kind of, that's the way I've like looked at it, and the way I've seen it so far, at least. It's like, if you sell, you get the fee money back, and then you get the extra stuff on top. So it's just really like, it's not that. It's a big deal when you start off, because initially you go, wow, I spent 200 like pounds or $200 on that that's crazy. But then at the end of the day, it all comes back, because when you sell it, you get that plus, you know. Even if you only make $10 or £10 on everything you put up, as long as you're consistent with it and like don't give up, someone will take notice eventually, and maybe you'll start making 15 per thing you put up. And that's fine. Everything takes time. So it's just absolutely refresh it and just trying to be, you know, just go with it.
Okay, that's cool. Super dope. And also, once they sell, I mean, if someone resells it, the artist gets a little cut of that also. Yeah, that's dope. I would say that's maybe one of the biggest benefits over just like traditional painting, because once you sell one, I mean, that's it. I mean, it doesn't diminish the artwork, you know, and the value always goes up, you know, it appreciates. But getting a little, you know, if someone is, you know, one of those types of people that buys and sells, and that could be a huge benefit. Huge benefit.
Even with stuff like that, someone buys yours, sells it for a lot more. Now you've got more people looking at you.
Yes.
And so you make some that way as well. So it's not, even though it's a little bit of a downer, it's not as big of a downer as it, you know, would be if they sold it and no one knew who you were. Because it's always like, you can always go back to who made it. So.
And exposure, I mean, for big exposure, I don't think there's really a price you can put on it, just to get the eyes on the artwork. Okay, the fashion. This is what I want to talk about. I saw there was a video of you with some 501s. You had patchwork on it. You had your own art on it.
Oh, I don't have them on. They're over there. I've got a bunch of clothes on my couch. And these are all, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah.
There's clothes. So these are the jeans. I thought I finished them, but I was kind of, they look fine, but I was like, I could try and make these better. So they're back on the couch. There's a hoodie over there, which is what I was literally just working on this, like 20, or whenever we started this, I put that down to this. And then I got a bunch of blanks. I went shopping yesterday or the day before. I got a bunch of blank hoodies, and I got some ideas. So I'm gonna just experiment with them and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think there's two hoodies you have posted on your social medias, and I was thinking, or maybe I was looking. No, there's definitely. Oh, maybe it was a hoodie and a t-shirt I was talking about, but the hoodie with the clouds on it. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. Super dope. All right. So as far as the fashion goes, was it something that you were interested in? Because I saw you with the sewing machine. Now, my mom used to sew, right? So I knew how to use a sewing machine because you see someone doing it, you want to try and do it yourself. Did you have to teach yourself, or was there someone that taught you how to sew?
I bought the sewing machine, didn't read the instructions, and the stitches all went wrong. So it was a thing. I like to learn from my mistakes, and so sometimes I deliberately do stuff which I think I can make a mistake on, and just see like what the outcome is and see how I can progress from there. So with the sewing machine, it was like, didn't really read the instructions, but then I just went on YouTube, just watched a couple videos of like people sewing and kind of figured it out for myself. Like, and with everything you do, the first one's going to be kind of like the worst one. If you do it best the first time and like regress instead of doing it badly and making progress, you're doing it the wrong way. So bought the sewing machine, sewed some random. I don't even think that the t-shirt, the very first one I did, I think I just like cut the t-shirt up and turned it into cloth to like sew on other stuff. Because I just like sewed a little circle, but there was so much thread hanging out of the bottom because I did it so badly. But now it's like, I don't know, I'm on my maybe fourth, fifth one, and I've like at least got it to a level where I know what I'm doing for nearly everything I do. But it's like, I do hoodies. So far, I've been focused on hoodies. I've painted on three pairs of jeans, and like sewn on one. Did I say 3 pairs of jeans? Actually, 4 pairs of jeans. Sewn on like one, but I just want to keep doing more. So it's more about how much I can save up to go get the stuff, to go make stuff, as opposed to me not knowing what I want to do. Because I know I want to like get into the fashion industry. I know it's pretty difficult, especially since I'm self-taught. It's pretty difficult to get in because you don't have those same like connections and critiques that people that go to actual school for it. But everything works out. So
you got a great attitude, seriously, because a lot of people, it's I don't have the money for this. I'm going to give up, forget it. But you sounds like you've got a plan. It's no matter what, you're going to do it. It doesn't matter if a month, 2 months, 3 months is going to happen.
As long as you have what you want to achieve, like in your head, and you are where you are now, you can basically just try and if you make that the focus, you'll take the right steps without knowing what the steps are. Because I didn't really know that I wanted to. I knew I wanted to do clothes, but I knew I wanted to do more than just paint on clothes or screen print on clothes or something. I knew I wanted to like be able to sew them myself. So whatever I think of, I don't have to go to someone else. I have a like quarter zip, one that zips up in the middle. It's like, I want to get that pockets. I don't know how to do it yet, but at some point I'll figure it out. I know that's the goal. In the way I am now, I don't know the things I need to do that, but I'll figure it out. It's more of a like mindset that I developed maybe since August, which is like got me to where I am now. So it's pretty well.
So the plan with the fashion, then it's like full-fledged line then. Well, once you get it up and going. But are you? Because I've seen some of those hoodies. Those hoodies are dope. Are you going to start selling any of them soon, or not quite there yet?
When I get to the point that it's like, okay, this is my first thing, the hoodies that are there, it's like some of them are for friends. I mean, they bought them, so technically I'm selling them, but not really. It's like pre actually being a brand and selling. Because that's 2019, I got asked to do a design for a t-shirt, and they put on the t-shirt, the company put on the t-shirt, sold them. But I was like, oh, this would be pretty cool. Then earlier this year in March, did some designs, put them on a hoodie. I did two designs, two hoodies in my room. And I was like, yeah, this could be pretty cool. But nothing stops you from taking that design from my Instagram, putting it on the hoodie from the website. Nothing stops that. But if I actually have the manufacturing, like the things myself, if I can actually sew stuff onto the hoodies, embroidery, no matter like what it is, someone could do something, someone could copy that, but it still wouldn't be the same thing, basically. It's like people, like, even with the screen printing stuff, it isn't the same because it doesn't come from me. And I've had my designs stolen like before. So that was the point when I knew that day. You know, when you're talking about I could do this professionally, I was like, okay, they want to steal my designs. I'm the one with the designs, so I can make more. They can't. They just need everything from me. At some point, they will be gone. Because I will be doing it as well, and no one will go to it. So that was the day, and I was like, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I know the general direction of what I want to do. Don't know the exact steps, but I'm not worried because it's all in between, and it's like once you get past the in between and you get to where you are, it doesn't really matter what the in between was.
It doesn't matter at all how you got there. That's all. And I just want to say, anybody that's watching out there, if you're stealing artist design and like selling them and putting it on clothes, you are a complete asshole. That is absolutely terrible. All right, I'll pray for you. Okay, you've got this piece on your Instagram, and the caption says, "Dark days lead to bright ideas." Oh man. This one, it really spoke to me when I saw it, because that is absolutely true. You know, I was, and not just me, I think a lot of people, especially creatives, because it can get pretty tough, especially when you're doing something where you're doing it by yourself most of the time, you know, when you're alone a lot of the times and you get frustrated. All right, so I, you know, long time ago was doing music. I still produce music, but I used to like actively rap and like do like little shows and stuff like that. And after having one of these moments where I am thinking, just fuck this, like I can't do this anymore. Then I wrote one of my best songs. I mean, this was years ago, but it is very true. The message in this art, some of the darkest times will bring you your best ideas. This is kind of how I came up with the show, because I grew up around art. My dad was an artist. I lived in the arts district downtown from the ages of like 14 to 23. And when it was still, you know, it's gentrified as shit now, but it was an actual like artist community then, you know? And I was, you know, going through COVID, and, you know, I'd really stopped making music, and, you know, I've got a job, you know, I can't complain, but I would sit at work and I'd look at artists, I'd follow artists, I retweet artists, and okay, I like seeing all of this art. There's other people like me out there. And so from a very, very dark place, I will say, you know, things were a little rough about it like a year ago, you know, this sprung out of the ashes. So yeah, I really, you know, feel the message in this painting, man. Super dope.
Can I talk about that piece a bit? If you don't
mind? Please.
So let's say this year is simultaneously the worst and best year like of my life so far. Up until the end of August, it was very bleak. Like I went through quite a bit early on in the year, and then the stuff just kept getting worse and worse. And I was sitting in my apartment, I was like, I know I'm not gonna like kill myself or anything,
Yeah.
because that would be such a waste.
Yeah.
So I have to do something like super, super positive with how I feel. And because I was making art through all of this like time period and I just wasn't enjoying it. And there was just a bunch of stuff going on. So I took like some time to just like chill, just try and reset and kind of figure out like there's a lot of stuff that I'm stressed about and a lot of stuff that's just out there to be stressed about. And I don't need to worry about any of this stuff because none of it like overly matters or affects me. Or if it is a problem now, if I just remove the problem, I can do something else with it. It's just like people wanting to try like fit in and like please everyone else instead of just being themselves. And because it's easy because when you grow up and like make your friends and stuff, you kind of do want to keep those friends, but at the same time there are way more people that like interests, so you always find similar enough people to you like everywhere and anywhere you go. You just have to like talk with them, meet with them, or whatever. And just making mistakes is fine. There's quite a lot which we get wrapped up in as like people and like human beings now, and we see a lot because of the internet and social media. But just like taking steps back from that and really only it's okay to only look at what you want to see and only see what you want to see in certain things. And a lot of the distractions keep us at like a low like functioning state where you think, I really wish I had that, or that he's doing so well and he's like doing so much better than me. I wish I had that. And instead of just wishing about stuff, just trying it, like trying to be that, or just like feeling that you are that, and then going about your day can make such a big difference in like feeling a lot better about yourself as a person in general. And so that piece was for like me on that day where I was thinking about just like I wouldn't say I was thinking about killing myself, but not actually going to do it. I was thinking about like that. So that day was for me on that day because I had all these like dark thoughts and like dark days and stuff. But from that has come to where I am now, which is I had loads of ideas then that I was just ready to give up on. But some of those ideas and pieces, some of my best work, especially since like super emotional and actually have a lot of meaning as opposed to just the like base level stuff that I was doing before. So like that's really where that piece came from.
Okay. So would you say that more recently then, with this piece included, that the art has become a little bit more, I don't know, introspective, more than just, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the album cover art are great, but something like this with that comes from inside of you. What I mean?
So my first piece, Head in the Clouds, is it's about a day that I had like a couple of days after that when I like started taking like better care of myself and not to think in this self-depreciating cycle of I'm always going to be a failure and all of this stuff and I might as well just die, to I could actually be like something really good and really useful. And more introspective art, it's a lot more freeing and expressive than when you're just looking at something and like redoing it, because you can draw certain things, but at the end of the day they're just objects. They don't really convey that much like emotion, and so there's a lot less like meaning behind them. Because if you ask me about, let's say if you look at my OpenSea, there's a bunch of covers there, and my explanation behind it would be, this is Frank Ocean's album cover and I liked it, so I drew it. Whereas the ones on my foundation is
Yeah.
like all of these pieces have specific meaning. Like the dinner in Paris one,
Yeah.
it's me in the future. The FF at the beginning of that is a fast forward. That's what I before collections on foundation came out, I was gonna like have my like normal pieces and my fast forward pieces. Now I can put them in collection. I'm like, I don't know. I've got loads of pieces on my iPad, like I just haven't finished them because I've been like doing clothes and other stuff.
Yeah.
But those pieces have more of a meaning behind them. That dinner in Paris one, it's about when I'm older and I'm able to go on holidays and not have to work all the time. But even in the piece, it's like I know I'm always gonna try and be working. So that piece is like it's dinner in Paris, but it's probably set at like 9 p.m. And that's because I'm doing clothes and stuff, making mood boards and stuff all day, and still didn't want to go to dinner. But I thought, well, I came to Paris for a reason with like my wife or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have to go have dinner because even now, it's like this is really bad. I shouldn't say this. I don't like have a proper diet. My food schedule revolves around when I haven't eaten in long enough that I can't do art or can't create anything. I need to go eat because I can't even like move my hand right now. So something definitely wrong. So I need to go get food. Most of my money goes to like art stuff. There was a week I ate like only lunch because I spent my money on these paint markers, which were a lot more than I thought they were going to be. And then I bought twice as many as I was originally going to buy. So I really had no money. I didn't pay my like heating bills and stuff. So I was like buying cold water, but I knew I wanted the markers, and I knew that in 2 weeks' time, it wouldn't matter because I'd be fine. So I just like kind of just plowed through it. There's things like that where there's stuff that I'm willing to sacrifice now because I know at some point I'll be able to get back when I feel like everything's settled and everything's in place and everything's in a system. I can afford to take this time out and this time off to do stuff. But right now it's like art, design all the time. My daily routine is wake up in the morning, go to work a bit early so I can leave work a bit early so I can come back. And that 5:30 to like 1, 2, 3 a.m. window is where I do like all of my it's just art or design. There's really nothing else in that. If I eat, it's like you go get a sandwich, eat it in like 5-10 minutes. Back because I need to do these designs, and I've got to wake up for work at maybe like 7:30, 8. So it's really just trying to get as much like done in that time period. And I know that it may be putting me at like a disadvantage now because I'm not really focusing on like being healthy and like eating the best meals, like getting nutrition and doing all this exercise and stuff. But next year, this same time-ish, I'll be able to do all of those things and I'll be at a better state with my art and clothing. But I won't be able to get there without having to go through this right now. So I just got to get used to that.
It's the sacrifices. So a lot of people aren't willing to make those sacrifices. They get a little bit uncomfortable. That's it. You don't want to tell. That's it. But anyone's successful, man. I mean, no matter what it is that you do, you've got to make that. If you have to make the sacrifice, because I mean, let's be real. Some people, it's, it gets handed to them. You know what I mean? Or which is fine. That's life. But if there's somewhere you really want to be, or especially like you, because it seems you know where you're going. You know exactly what the end goal is. Yeah. It's so making that sacrifice to you is nothing because you've got that vision, and a lot of people, they would give up with, the smallest inconvenience, like you said, not paying your heating bill. Someone, nah, forget it. I'm done. I'm not buying these markers. That's awesome because you really know what you're doing, man. You know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, and you've got a plan. I would have rather hurt my feelings than hurt yours. Oh, yes. Yeah. And I think, a lot of people are going to relate to this because I think men and women, it's a particular person, because not all people are like that. It's usually the nice ones that this happens to. Some people will walk all over you and don't care. But I can relate to this one, like a lot of people. Was there any meaning behind this one?
There's a lot of meaning behind that one.
All right, let's hear
it. I don't know, because the person, this is self-incriminating enough. It's probably, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna act like she doesn't exist.
Okay.
And hopefully she's not gonna watch it. But
Okay.
I just met someone through, I don't know, I'm trying to not expose myself here. And I just met someone, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, we get along really well, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know how much longer we're gonna be in the constant contact in which we're in.
Yeah.
Simply because of how life goes and like that. So it's more about, I wouldn't want to rush into us actually let's say being in a relationship or whatever we would call it, and then potentially knowing that it wouldn't work out and then they'd be upset. So I was more like, as much as it hurts me that I can't really express how I feel fully, I'm just gonna affirm it because for your sake, I don't really want to do that. And I know I wouldn't, because I don't want to be that guy running around and breaking people for absolutely no reason. So I in the grand scheme of my entire life, maybe this is a mistake, but it's probably it's like I said, there are enough people that whether or not I'm making a mistake now, I wouldn't have to make this the same mistake again, sort of thing. I'm not even mad that you brought it up. It's just about this. I don't know. It get interesting sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know you're telling this to a stranger too, across the world. So
I'm not even bothered. The funny thing is, I'm really not even bothered about telling you this.
Yeah.
It's more the fact that people I know may watch this, may talk about it. That's
am I getting you in trouble here then? Oh, my bad. But you know what though, this makes you very real, because this is an everyday sort of thing, man. So to the people to the people that know Teddy, it's all my fault. Okay, don't be mad at him. All right.